What's good, y'all? Utah back here again in 2019 with another death match. Now, this is a death match I've thought about for years. Years. And I didn't know if I was going to do. I was like, I was trying to hold off for the longest time. I'm like, which versions of the characters we're going to use. This is so highly debated amongst folk. But we in here. We gonna do it anyway. And let's see who gets this W. In the left corner, the third strongest of the Straw Hat crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, ladies and gentlemen, who inherited his black leg style from Red Leg Zeph, who the son of the Vinsmokes. Y'all know who he be. We talking about Black Leg himself, the man with a 330 mil bounty, Vinsmoke Sanji. And in the right corner, we got the one who's all about that hard work, dedication, and stay grinding. Straight taijutsu, all pure hands getting thrown. Y'all know who he is. One of the best taijutsu masters ever in the history of the Naruto world. Rock Lee. Let's get it. Now, for the longest time, I was like, like I said, which versions I'm gonna use? This is gonna be adult Rock Lee versus post time skip Sanji. We're gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna go ahead and do it. Now, like with all my death matches, we have three main categories, and under each category, we have a few different subcategories. On the first category is the attack category, the second one is defense, and the third one is strategy. Under the attack category, there are four subcategories. Strength, which is physical strength. Combat speed. I always say speed is combat speed. Do not get it confused with travel / transit speed if this is your first time. Those are two totally separate things. Third category is techniques, self-explanatory. And the fourth category is destructive capacity / power. How much stuff you blown up, breaking, all that good stuff, depending on the type of fighter you are. Now, who comes out in physical strength? This is actually very intriguing because both of these guys they don't seem it, but they are surprisingly very strong. Sanji doesn't utilize lifting strength, but we've seen this dude just toss whole, um, back in whole Cake Island, a massive where he had a bunch of people and stuff. He pretty much tossing like a giant cart. Like this dude can toss ships. Sanji is ridiculous when it comes to the strength game. We've also seen him, just sea walk, blue walk, he calls it, under 5,000 meters water pressure. All right, it's ridiculous. He's ridiculous when it comes to his strength. He ain't Zoro and Luffy yet, but he is impressive. Rock Lee doesn't so much rely on the strength game. And so it's kind of really difficult to say what kind of lifting strength he has. So believe it or not, I'm going to have to go with Sanji because Sanji has multiple impressive feats of lifting strength. When it comes to speed, now here's where it gets interesting. Sanji, we know what kind of speed this dude brings to the table. This dude stay be blitzing folk. This dude was moving so fast in Whole Cake Island that Oven didn't even sense him. Didn't even sense him. Dude moves at stupidly fast speed when he really bought it. And if we're, we'll get to the raid suit. Yes, we're throwing in the raid suit. That's what he allows for the race suit. Well, the race suit does amp his speed to a degree. It doesn't seem too much of an amp, but it's a little bit because of what Niji said. So there's that, and it allows him for mad jumping ability. So you got if you're adding a raid suit, there you go as well. Now, when it comes to Rock Lee's base is not as fast as Sanji, but he can amp it with the 8 gates. The thing is, he can't hold that out forever. So it's one of those things that this one I just say is a wash. Both of them are incredibly fast in their own ways. Sanji consistently is faster than Rock Lee, but with the gates, Rock Lee is faster. But Rock Lee can't maintain the gates as long as Sanji can fight. So it's one of those weird kind of situations. Just keep that in mind. It's fights. That's what happens. Techniques. Both got a lot of techniques, honestly. With Diablo Jambe for Sanji and all the different kicks, all the things that he does with the raid suit, it allows for invisibility. We're adding that in there as well. Um, just a whole bunch of kicks that Sanji has. Whole bunch of different things with the black leg style. When it comes to Rock Lee, we got the strong fist style. We got all the different ones of the eighth gauge. So both have a plethora of techniques. So even there. When it comes to destructive capacity slash power, Rock Lee has it. Anyway, here's the problem. Sanji has it on the reg. But Rock Lee, if he opens up sixth, seventh, and eighth gate, but eighth gate can kill him though. You know what I'm saying? But if he can maintain that sixth and seventh, then he has more destructive capacity, which we have seen. So it's one of those kind of things is Rock Lee with the gates, it's kind of like Kaioken with Son Goku. All right. He wins with power. But without that, in base, Sanji wins with or without the raid suit. So there you go. Now, when it comes to overall attack is kind of a wild card. It's very dicey. It's very close. All right, I'm not really giving much of the edge. You can argue the edge for Sanji, a little bit, but depending on how you want to consider it, it's either a slight edge for Sanji or it's a tie. So there you go. When it comes to defense, we have also four subcategories. We have reaction time, durability, stamina, and agility. Now, when it comes to reaction time, this isn't even close. It's not fair. Sanji with base, as well as his observation hockey, he's nasty with it. We've seen this dude react to a jelly bean shot from across the way and just like instinctively boom. Um, I mean, he's got caught. I mean, you can get caught, but his reaction time is nasty. We've seen this throughout a number of fights throughout One Piece. Rock Lee, he relies more on his speed than he does his reaction time. He's not that type of fighter. That doesn't mean he can't react. Now, here's another thing. Drunken Lee is nasty with it though. Drunken Lee is nasty with it, but he doesn't really use that too often. But if you include that, it's impressive. But I gotta give Sanji the edge for a number of feats that we've seen throughout the series of One Piece. Now, as far as endurability, I gotta go with that man, Rock Lee. Sanji can take hits. Rock Lee though, Rock Lee scales the Might Guy. All right, adult Rock Lee scales the Might Guy. That's all you need to know. Dudes are nasty. Dudes are nasty with it. All right. And if you know both series, okay, you could say, well, Sanji can take it. Sanji ain't Zoro and he ain't Luffy. All right. He can tank, but he ain't a tank like that. He is not a tank like that. Um Monster Point Chopper, for example, is more of a tank than Sanji is. Sanji gets hit and he can tank hits, but his game is about speed, finesse, and getting the hell out of there. That's what he mainly does. He can still tank hits, but he's not that level of a tank. So Rock Lee gets a nod. When it comes to stamina, it depends if Rock Lee utilizes the 8 gate, how long he utilizes the 8 gates or not. 8 gates diminishes stamina greatly. Sanji, we've never really seen Sanji get pushed to where it is. So if it was base for base, I think they're pretty much on par because both of them can fight for a long ass time. But if Rock Lee has to maintain his 8 gate for an extended period of time, Sanji's winning with the stamina. So that's a kind of condition kind of thing. Now when it comes to agility, once again, Sanji definitely takes the cake. Rock Lee, he's nice. But again, his agility relies on his overwhelming speed. Sanji's agile because Sanji's just agile like it. Just casually with it. He's been doing that since he first showed up at the Baratie arc. Alright. So there you go. When it comes to defense, Sanji overall has a slight advantage over Rock Lee. Now, when it comes to strategy, we have three subcategories. You have location, you have fighting style, and you have fighting IQ. When it comes to location, this is very interesting. Both of them, Sanji has an advantage because he can do skywalk, even though his laser is main fighting stance. Rock Lee with the eighth gate, kind of can just warp around. But Sanji does have an aerial attack advantage, even though he doesn't do it too often. Sanji would fight more effectively underwater. We've seen him fight underwater multiple times, so he would be able to do that. So Sanji can fight pretty much anywhere. Rock Lee is impressive as well, but Sanji has a wide array of where he can fight. When it comes to fighting style, we got the black leg style versus the strong fist style. Rock Lee has like three styles. He got the strong fist style, which is his base style. Got the eight gauge, which have their own specific move sets and own specific amped abilities, physicality, and such. As well as he has the drunken fist style, which is drunk based off of drunken fist kung fu. All right. Sanji has the black leg style, but he also has these pretty much red leg Diablo Jambe set. So he has that amp as well as he has the raid suit, and the raid suit can turn invisible as well as got amp speed and stuff. So they kind of balance each other off because they have three kind of uh three kind of variations of what they bring to the table. And when it comes to fighting IQ, Sanji, he's nice. He's quite good. He's not quite up there with the level of Zoro, but he's a pretty damn good fighter. He's an intelligent dude. He's observant. Um, he's not a full blown fighter, but he still can effectively throw those kicks. All right. He pretty much for the most part came up with his own style. So you got to give credit where credit is due. And he's the master of that style. We don't really see anybody else rocking the kick game like he does. When it comes to Rock Lee's one of the best taijutsu masters in the world. Naruto, one of the best hand-to-hand combatants, period. You could argue top five, if not top three. Okay? With right up there with my guy and Uchiha Madara. I'd probably have Rock Lee like third. Right. So that's impressive. And we saw what both of those gentlemen brought to the table. Rock Lee's up there with those dudes. Even Hatake Kakashi, uh, praised Lee for what he brought to the table. Um, Lee, Lee, he's pretty straightforward. Um, Again, he relies more on straightforward attack rather than the finesse game. He has a pretty high. Him and Sanji have relatively about the same. This is one of the battles that's fascinating because we have two people who are very similar, and that's what makes this such a hard and debatable topic. This is one of the best ones overall. Who do I have coming out on top? Attack Sanji. Rock Lee can keep up with Sanji. And in the eighth gate, like if he opened the eighth gate, but the eighth gate would kill Rock Lee. Seventh gate, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Rock Lee, if Rock Lee's able to get Sanji and tag him early and often, he's killing Sanji. The problem is if Sanji can dodge and keep away from Rock Lee while his body breaks down in the gates. Overall, I give I'm giving 52-48 to Sanji because Rock Lee, the thing is, the gates give Rock Lee a mad advantage, but they come with mad detrimental. And Sanji, Rock Lee doesn't have anything like observation hockey to be able to find Sanji if Sanji used the raid suit, for example, he would be able to go invisible. If Sanji uses speed, Rock Lee could turn it up and he can open up the gates. Is if Rock Lee between sixth and seventh gate, he can land them blows on Sanji, then he can take it. The thing is, I don't know if he lands enough fatal blows on Sanji to be able to take him out of here. I don't know. He could or he could not. It's dicey. So Rock Lee can definitely get this dub. It's very dicey. But I give Sanji enough of the advantage and his intellect. He is a slightly smarter. They're relative, but he's a slightly more strategic, smarter fighter than Rock Lee is. So I gotta give the edge to Sanji, and people will be like, well, but it was a whole squad that broke apart immediately. We've seen Law, and even though Sanji's not quite Law, Fujitora, or Joker, Sanji can compete. All right, he can at least compete a little bit. So, and even Joker commented how strong Sanji is. So that's the way I see it. Unexpected one. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this one. This one is one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to come up with, which is part of the reason why I've held off this death match for so long. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. And any other suggestions, please let me know. I will hopefully be able to get to them.